But one thing is, you have volunteered to testify at the trial, correct?
Not as of yet. Actually, I was subpoenaed.
Okay.
So my attorneys worked something out. So I believe when the time is right, I'm going to discuss it with my attorneys.
But you're willing to?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, guys. Al B. Sure is back and ready to speak out about everything. And I mean everything he knows about Diddy. One thing about him is that he has always stuck to the same story.
Years ago, I posted some information that was, basically trying to save my life. And thank goodness to my ex, the wonderful Kim Porter, the late Kim Porter, who, kind of warned me all along the way to, just kind of watch your back, so on and so forth. And I didn't understand why.
Because of Diddy.
Al B. Sure is reportedly one of the people expected to testify in Diddy's trial. If he repeats what he has been saying for years, it could definitely hurt Diddy's reputation, which is being closely examined during the case. Also, Al has shared some new details about Kim Porter's situation. Before Kim started dating Diddy, she was in a relationship with Al B. Sure. Besides having their son Quincy together, Kim even confirmed that she inspired Al's song Forever My Lady. According to Al, they were actually married. He first mentioned their marriage in an interview with Fox Soul, saying, "Every time I post something, I forget it's me. I'm a grandfather now. So my focus isn't on being popular or chasing likes. But the other day, I posted something about my ex-wife." He added, "Yeah, I said it, my ex-wife Kimberly. But no one knew because we never talked about being married. We didn't make it public. From time to time, I just pay tribute to her." After they separated, Al and Kim stayed on good terms. And if there's one person who has repeatedly said that something suspicious happened around Kim's death, it's Al.
Basically.
Do you believe that she died of pneumonia?
Absolutely not.
Why? What evidence do you have?
She was in the best of health. We just saw each other prior to her passing. We were actually celebrating our son's new Netflix Christmas special, and she was doing just fine. In fact, we were all at the event together at Netflix in the lobby. Sean, myself, the children, all having a great time. And I'm, grabbing Sean like, "What?" And she's in the back going, "Stop," So it was a really festive opportunity just for all of us to be together, because it's nothing like the circus that's out here. So it was a lot of the stuff, came to surprise, but a lot of the stuff will be revealed and that's why I thought it would be a good idea to finally tell my story.
Remember when Kim's supposed book came out? Al B. Sure quickly reacted on Instagram to a screenshot from Extra's headline that said, "Diddy's late ex, Kim Porter, revealed his twisted secrets and alleged diary entries." In his caption, Al wrote, "From 2009 through 2018, y'all said Al B. Sure lost his mind and told him to sit down." He kept saying this over and over. On the day Kim died, he said the police ignored him when he shared what Kim had told him before she passed. Warnings to be careful and watch his back. But people just responded by saying, "Someone get Al. Some medical help. He's lost it." Then in March 2024, Al hinted that Diddy might have had something to do with his coma in 2022. He even mentioned he's working on a documentary that will shock everyone.
We're going to the Al B. Sure life story. So hold on to your britches, and you'll really understand how I ended up in a coma. You're really going to need to call Homeland Security.
But you all know Al B. Sure has been speaking out for years. Back in November 2021, he said that before Kim died, she was running from someone or something. He even said he told her to call the FBI. However, soon after, he edited that part of his post, removing the FBI mention and saying instead that Kim was running a marathon. Al also shared how he found out Kim had passed. He wrote, "I just found this footage from the morning I learned about Lady KP's, aka Kim Porter's death, and how it tore the soul from my body. I know clearly that Kimberly didn't just suddenly die from pneumonia. That's nonsense." He admitted this might get him in trouble. In the post, Al tagged Diddy to make sure he saw it, suggesting he holds Diddy responsible. He added, "We just celebrated our son at Quincy's New Deal Christmas special with Netflix. Kim was in great health, laughing and enjoying herself with me and Diddy's mutual friends at the theater." Now he's saying these same things again.
It's been quite a journey. And as I said, even as it relates to writing the book, I went through almost, more than a decade of being scrutinized and clowned by law enforcement, them telling me, You need some help. Sex trafficking? Really? What's wrong with you? No way. Just not realizing that they were also working for the...
Al said he will soon release a tell-all memoir called Do You Believe Me Now this fall. In it, he plans to share his experiences and truths, including what happened between him and Diddy. He also claims that Diddy and his associates might have been connected to the events that caused his multi-organ failure. Al reveals there was even a bounty on his head, and that he faced a lot of resistance when he first spoke out about Diddy. He also mentions being subpoenaed for Diddy's trial and says he's ready to testify. Al makes it clear that he is focused on telling his truth and isn't motivated by marketing or personal gain.
Do you think specifically then that Sean Diddy Combs or people affiliated with him did something to you that caused you to have multi-organ failure?
I believe this to be the case, yes.
Of course, Al isn't just making things up because there are still some unexplained facts about Kim's death. For example, blood was reportedly found on Kim's pillowcases, and a small trail of blood led from the bedroom to the bathroom. According to reports, Kim wasn't found unconscious in her bed, but was actually discovered on the bathroom floor. If she had been found in bed, it might mean someone placed her there on purpose. The original coroner who did Kim's first autopsy suspected foul play because of the amount of a certain toxin found in her system. Another strange detail is that Kim's last call was reportedly to 911 at 2:43 a.m., but she wasn't found until 11:00 a.m. the next morning. Not long ago, there were reports that Kim's family was considering suing Diddy for wrongful death because they believe they have physical evidence to back their case. So when Al says he's suspicious about what happened to Kim, he knows what he's talking about. It's also suspicious that many people who worked with Diddy when Kim was alive have died. Except for Al. Kim was the longest-serving employee at Uptown Records, starting as Andre's personal assistant. Now Kim is dead, Heavy D is dead, Andre Harrell is dead. Only Diddy and Al remain, and Al almost died too. What makes things even more suspicious is how these people died. Heavy D was found face down, and his cause of death was a heart attack. Andre Harrell also died of a heart attack. Kim's reported cause of death was pneumonia. Interestingly, Andre was writing a book before he died. Heavy D was working on a book before he died. Al B. Sure was making a documentary about his life before he went into a coma. And Kim was also writing a book before she passed. Speaking of Kim's book, there was one that came out, but it couldn't be verified. The real book was supposed to reveal how Kim protected Al B. Sure from running into Diddy, warning him not to go to certain places because she knew what Diddy was capable of. Kim was also said to be planning to expose how Diddy had hurt her physically. A few times, how she was isolated and controlled, how she was forced to use a strap-on to please Diddy, then cry alone afterward. The book reportedly described how her house was wired with listening devices, her phones were tapped, and Diddy paid people to watch her closely. There were even claims that Diddy wanted full custody of the twins, but Kim threatened to expose him if he tried to take her kids. Allegedly, the book also planned to reveal how the East and West Coast scenes faked events to eliminate Tupac and Biggie to gain control of their music masters. Pac and Biggie were supposedly planning to team up and challenge Bad Boy and Death Row for rights to their music. Another shocking part Kim was reportedly going to reveal involved Diddy's relationships with other men, including some he allegedly took advantage of, like Usher. I did say allegedly, though.
I mentioned that earlier, that he said about Stevie J. The Usher part, that's a touchy situation, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a certain feeling, and I felt a certain way when Usher got on Shay Shay, and I don't mean to mention other people's platforms, but he got on Shay Shay and he mentioned how great and how good Puff taught him and everything. You know what I'm saying? About the business, right? I know, and people know, that was around that in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation...
So the book that came out didn't just focus on Diddy and Kim, it also threw some shade on Al B. Sure. There's an excerpt where Kim supposedly witnessed something between Diddy and Al that shocked her so much she had to leave the room and even cross the street to clear her head. According to Kim's words, there was a conversation where Sean, Al B's friend, said something wild like, "We all been together sexually, but not together," referring to inviting other people into their bed. Kim said she was shocked and uncomfortable because Al B is her son's father. Al B's response was surprising. He said, "I don't know, it could be kind of hot." I miss you in that way. Even though Kim cared about Al B, she was worried how it might affect her relationship and their son Quincy. Al B sure has denied all these claims in the book and even threatened to sue over it. But let's focus on what he's said about Kim, which has been pretty intense. Some people don't trust Al B because he comes off as selfish sometimes. For example, right after Quincy released a statement saying the conspiracy theories about Kim's death were upsetting the family, Al B was posting strange things online. Also, about his memoir, Al B seemed more upset that his name was mentioned than about the real issues in the book. That felt pretty selfish. To make things messier, Al B openly questioned why Quincy was still following Diddy, the same man who allegedly hurt Kim. So people are divided. Some think Al B's genuine, others think he's causing drama for attention. Personally, I'm curious to see what Al B reveals if he takes the stand. Will he share more about Kim, about what happened to him? This story could get even juicier. What do you think? Will Al B spill everything on the stand? Drop your thoughts in the comments.